up everyone? So today we have got a super cool, super visual little colour change. Happens in the box. It's impromptu basically because you don't need any gimmicks or anything like that. Take a little bit of practice, nothing much. What I'm gonna teach you is obviously the basics around the colour change itself, and then I'm going to teach you a routine around the colour change as well. So grab yourself a pack of cards, which also has a cellophane on it still. Doesn't matter about the top bit of cellophane, but as long as it's still got the cellophane on. If you've watched any of my previous tricks about like the coin through the cellophane, you know that the cellophane I think is really important. There's so many tricks you can do with it, and you're going to need the cellophane for this trick. So the first thing we're going to do is look at how the trick works, just the very basic principle of this trick. So you are going to grab two cards, doesn't matter what two cards, and let me just change this lighting a little bit darker so I don't look albino. And you are going to place them in between the cellophane themselves, the two cards. After that, what you're going to do is just split the two cards very slightly so you can get this little raised tier section here where you can then use your nail to apply pressure to get that card to lift up instead of just one card, and then you can get the other one to lift up as well in the same place. So that's the very basic routine around the trick and how it works. So when you put them inside the cellophane, let me take the cards out the box. You are going to need the cards in the box when doing this trick anyway, because you need the pressure, because now it will be harder to apply pressure without crushing the box. If that makes sense, it should do. I hope it makes sense. I'm going to try and explain it as best as I can. So you've got the two cards in there already, or you can do it with 3 cards, 4 cards. There is no limit. The more cards you add, the harder it gets though, and I'll explain that why later on. So as you can see, I've just made that little gap per tier. Anyone with longer nails will find it a lot easier just to be able to get the gap in between the cards. See, it's very hard with no cards in the box now to get the right pressure, and you're going to slide it over the top. So that's the basic idea about how this, we'll call it the box change, works. So with the angles for this change, you're pretty clear from most angles except for anywhere behind you obviously, but anywhere in front of you where you would be performing magic directly in front of them, you wouldn't get someone stood behind doing this trick. If you're performing for one-to-one or just a little group on a table, this trick's perfect. So you have your setup ready, and this is where the angles are quite sensitive, where you've got to be careful what you're doing. You can pretend that the box is sealed, shut over by just having that flap inside the cellophane, and you can go about it being kind of like a rising card effect, just add a little bit of a shake to it so it brings some mystery. Now, the higher you lift it up, obviously the more you have to cover with that next card. So you don't want to lift that card up too high at all. So you want to make sure I like to kind of base it around this little flap at the top, that it's only going like a centimetre above it, so that the spectator can see what card it is. They can see that there's the 5 of spades there. I had to check myself because I wasn't sure whether it was the 5 of spades or 5 of diamonds. But it doesn't matter. They can see it's a 5 and it's a black card. So just over a little bit, and then obviously you don't just want to do that because they've just seen the card slide up. You could do, it kind of brings a mystery. However, by just adding a little bit of a shake to it, it kind of just brings that illusion of going, oh, wait, what just happened? And then you can take it out as a double, and then you can go into any ambitious routine, whatever. I'm not going to explain what you should do after. That's up to you what you want to do after. Just quickly before we get into more detail about the routine and everything, once you're lifting that second card up, you can lift it up ready so that it doesn't go past the flap here. Obviously, if you go past the flap here, ready for the change, you can start to see it. If you've lifted it too high, let's say from here, they'll be able to see something happening already. But when it's at the bottom, you can be starting to lift that card up. Let's try and get both at the same time. so you can see it's still underneath the flap, so from this angle they can't see it, but you've got it raised up ready for the illusion, so there's less movement to do to get that shake position ready. Once you've done the shake or done the change, sometimes this can happen where they come a little bit out jogged. It's not easy to do, so they get a little bit out jogged. Quick tip is just to quickly grab them, just line them up, make a little wave motion so you line them up perfectly, and then all of a sudden you can take them out, because obviously you don't want to see that split with the cards, how they've moved and everything. Just line them up with your hands quickly. Spectator's not going to think anything of it. Quickly for the setup, if you get a card design or cards which have got the same back design as the box itself, you can obviously hide that as a perfect illusion, because now you wouldn't know whether there's a card there or not, because it's exactly the same either way, or whether there's two cards in there and whatnot. So get cards which match the box design themselves, and then it just hides everything a lot easier as well, and you can do this whenever. So a quick routine about it, just to finish off this little tutorial, is, let's say you've got your two cards prepared there already. Whatever the back card is, yeah, is going to be the card that lifts up first. The second card, or the one that's you've put in first, is going to be their card, let's say. So for this instance, we are doing the 5 of spades. So what you're going to do, take the cards out as normal, put the cards back in the box after, but you're going to force the 5 of spades. Then you can go along this illusion, we're going to make your card appear, think of your card. Obviously you get the king appear first, and they're like, well, no, that's not my card. So you go, right, I want you to think of your card then. What was your card? Just say it out loud. 5 of spades. Okay, 5 of spades it was. And then you come out clean. Kind of, you can either cop that card away. I've gone about cop on other videos. I'll leave a link about how to cop in the description. You can basically clean up however you want. Quickly in the video for myself, I just literally just dump these cards on here, and then just grab it from this position here, whatnot, so it looks like the same, and then you can just empty the cards all out, and you're completely clean. Come up with your own ideas. You can then do a switch, do whatever you want. It's entirely up to you. So I hope you enjoyed that little box change, thumb change, whatever you want to call it. Let's just call it a box change, because everything happens in a box. It's a super cool effect. I wanted to release this effect ages ago, but then someone told me it was too similar to one of Patrick Gunn's move. I'm not sure how he performs it and stuff. It doesn't bother me, but I'm just giving you a routine, an idea that I had a couple of years ago with this little colour change. It's super visual, super fun. You can do it just for camera, you can do it for people, you can do it all the time, anytime you want. There's no setup at all really. So I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you again next week.